All right, welcome to our webinar on today entitled Optimizing Manufacturing Operations in 2025. We have with us today Endpoint Automation Solutions, previously known as Scanco, coming with some really insightful content. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat as you are currently on mute. Also, post-webinar, there will be a survey that will pop up. Please provide your feedback, and if you would like more information, please just let us know in the survey. I'll go ahead and pass it off to Cody with Endpoint Automation Solutions to introduce himself.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jazz. As Jazz said, my name is Cody Smith, and I am with Endpoint Automation Solutions. Endpoint Automation Solutions is a name that some of you may not be familiar with, but you're most likely familiar with our company. We were previously known as Scanco. Scanco was founded in 1989. For pretty much all of those years, we have been a very close partner of the Sage ecosystem. In 2016, we acquired a company called Synergistics, which was a company that was founded back in 1987 and wrote a product called JobOps. And that product is now known as Operations Management for Sage 100. And it has been one of our core products that provides a robust manufacturing solution for the Sage 100 users. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that. As you'll see here on this slide, Endpoint, I always like to kind of talk about why we changed the name. We're much more than a scanning company now. As you'll see, our old logo even had a barcode in it. So while we still provide top tier solutions for barcode scanning on your shop floor, in your warehouse, out in the mobile sales environment, we do a lot more, entering into payments. We have not-for-profit solutions for donor engagement, procurement solutions, and really our goal is to connect all of those endpoints of your operations together. So that's where the name comes from. Endpoint Automation Solutions is just trying to make that process a little bit easier. So what we want to talk about today, we kind of just had a quick introduction. We're going to talk about manufacturing landscape in 2025. Go over a little bit about Sage 100 operations management module, and then speak a little bit about workflows, improving efficiency, some of the key challenges, and then we'll wrap up. And during that wrap up process, please feel free to ask any questions throughout the webinar. While we won't be answering those live on the webinar today, we will definitely get to those, follow up with you for any questions that you may have. And then we will also have a survey at the end. So some of the things that we're seeing in 2025, a lot of you know this has been a bit of an unusual year with kind of everything going on in the macro economy. And the good thing, I'll say, if there could be a good thing, is you're not the only company experiencing this. We are hearing from companies daily, multiple companies every day that are experiencing the same challenges you are. Supply chain volatility and disruptions. Obviously, we don't even need to mention tariffs, but that is changing a lot of how we operate. Skilled labor shortages, management of those laborers, management of our operations, everything seems to be impacted at this moment. Rising material operational costs, we see it on the news every night. We see, whether it's from eggs to auto parts to medical devices, there's definitely a rise in pretty much everything we're touching on a daily basis. And then, of course, demand for increased sustainability, which is always important, and intensifying global competition. Now, some of this content was put together before the past couple months. And I know obviously there's a large focus on the global competition landscape changing and bringing a lot of that back here to North America. So still, we're always going to face that competition. So, what we want to talk about is how do we really make sure we are handling all these challenges. So the need is to have agility, visibility, efficiency, and then the ability to make data-driven decisions. And in order to do that, there's obviously a couple pieces that we need. So talking a little bit about what operations management is. Uh, Operations management is an integrated job management solution. So this product is designed for manufacturers and even service providers. We'll get in a little bit to the service providers side. Today's mainly focused on the manufacturing, but service providers, we do have very robust tools built out for work tickets being handled out in the field, repair depot, warranty work, tracking by serial number over the life of items for service contracts, et cetera. But like I said, today, mainly focused on manufacturing. So the name job ops comes from essentially a job shop. That's one thing I don't like people to get held up on. Um, this is also very flexible for make to order, make to stock. It doesn't just have to be make to order. But from its design principles, it is designed as a make to order system, completely seamlessly integrated into Sage 100 through the sales order module. So you're actually creating work tickets at the same time you're in sales order, and those can be multiple levels. Why that's important is it provides a single source of truth. You're not having to deal with different sales orders, work tickets linked through, trying to sync with each other. And the system, it's one and the same. And that also allows us to streamline the processing by allowing this to happen from quote to invoice. When you're creating a quote in the sales order module, that is the work ticket that becomes your sales order, which is the work ticket, which becomes the invoice. So there's a lot less opportunity for data to be missed during the manufacturing process, and gives you that single source of truth. And of course, we always want to make sure that this is able to be used easily out in the workforce. So we take a user-centric approach. It is focused on real-world usability and follows all of your traditional Sage workflow. So if you know how to use Sage, you're going to know how to use operations management. So I talked a little bit about the work tickets. Work tickets are the core. Work tickets manage and track the production or service jobs like we spoke about earlier from start to finish. As I mentioned, it does handle multiple types. So we can have our repair and service jobs. We can have our make to stock, make to order, assemble to order. And this allows the flexibility to work through not only different companies, but a lot of our companies will do some make to stock and make to order side by side. So this is easily going to allow you the ability to look at that and make decisions based on that information. The structure is standardized, so we can define steps and processes. We can have our bill of materials, define our labor and material budget, scheduling, costs, etc. And all of that is templatized, so we can reuse it from templates. We can reuse it from history. So maybe we made an item, had a couple changes, and that customer calls back. We can actually copy their previous sales order / work ticket to ensure they're getting the same exact item again. So now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the challenges we see. And we're going to start with procurement. So a big challenge here is managing materials effectively, especially with those uncertainties that we're seeing in the supply chain. So having difficulty maintaining optimal inventory levels, unpredictable supply chain disruptions, we're not saying that we can eliminate these. What we're saying is that we can help you manage these by knowing at an instant what your demand is for certain items, by knowing your promise dates, et cetera, and being able to create purchase orders. So with operations management, purchasing materials specifically to work tickets. So once you create work tickets, we can create purchase orders off of that. We have a component exception manager, which is kind of think of it as an MRP program that's going to allow you to look at these items, see what you have in stock. It'll let you know if you need to generate a PO, or maybe we create a make to stock work ticket because we have the raw materials in stock. And then we can also, have the ability to combine multiple work tickets, because maybe you get volume discounts from your vendors. We can combine information from multiple sources to see what our overall demand will be. So what this is going to help us with is reducing inventory holding costs. Of course, we'll have the ability to increase that purchasing efficiency, minimize our stockouts of raw materials, and make the overall process a lot cleaner from start to finish on our procurement side. So now that we've talked about the items that we have in stock, labor is obviously probably one of our highest costs at this point. Labor shortages are something we hear still to this day. We just can't find the people we need to staff our organization appropriately. So being able to maximize that staff you have is now crucial more than it ever has been. So what we're working with here is the ability to have a time tracker that gives you the real-time shop floor data collection, direct time entry, and we'll get into the scheduling a little bit, which I feel makes a really large impact on the labor side. But being able to have that accurate costing, being able to look into a job status at any moment from a dashboard and see what is our actual versus budgeted labor. Maybe we've had some changes and we're now realizing that we need to adjust our budgeted labor because we're starting to invest more with labor. This does all tie back into payroll. So if you are compensating based on piece or some sort of production incentive comp, you'll have the ability to sync those pieces through. And then, of course, it's going to improve your estimates. So the more data we have collected appropriately, the better we're going to be able to project our future estimates on creating items or fulfilling our orders. Talking about inventory, one of the big pieces is the ability to have what we call dynamic inventory. Dynamic inventory gives us the ability to view, or I should say, update inventory in Sage in real time. So a lot of systems and a lot of users right now are maybe sending out a paper traveler to the floor. They're writing down what they used, but that's not reflected in Sage immediately. It might be a day, 2 days a week before that's reflected. But with dynamic inventory and operations management, that's going to give us the ability to use some sort of shop floor device. It might be a desktop, could be a mobile computer with barcode scanning. But the moment you're consuming that inventory into a work ticket, it is going to remove that from your available inventory in Sage. So it gives your purchasing department, customer service, and sales departments a lot better insight to what our inventory truly is inside of our system. So that will make sure materials are available when they're needed. Once again, we can track it against the work tickets to see if maybe we're having too much scrap or we've been ordering too many of a raw material. This will allow us to precisely match that to the job requirements. Some of the benefits here, of course, reduced waste, once again, minimize carrying costs, planning accuracy, but having a WIP, a view into your WIP or work in process items is huge. So with operations management, you'll really be able to look in and see where the items are, what the accrued costs are to that point, and be able to see where it is in your overall operation. So I talked a little bit before about how I think the scheduling is a piece that is very robust for the labor side. So when it comes to manufacturing scheduling, there's a lot that goes into this. Capacity is probably the main one. So having your work centers set, we allow you to have a graphical interface where we can create all of your work centers. We can put the availability, the hours, you can have downtime scheduled. You can use finite or infinite scheduling methods. So depending on how you need your operation set up, we can do all of the capacity planning through enhanced scheduling, which will optimize that workflow and throughput. It also has material constraint scheduling. So, picture a dashboard, and I probably should have had a picture of it here, but picture a dashboard that shows your work centers and your work tickets. Looks, we'll say kind of like a calendar. And it has a highlighted color and then a box around it. And if everything's green, that means we have capacity at the workstation available. We have the materials available, and we can drag and drop these work tickets to different days, and it'll recalculate the other work tickets. And if for some reason it calculates that we're running out of a raw material, it's going to give us a red outline to let me know that, okay, I have a material constraint now, and I'm going to miss my capable to promise date. Or I move it and I don't have the work center capacity available, but I have the material. It'll let me drag and drop these around, or it'll allow it to schedule automatically to give you the visibility into the scheduling. One of our other features here is an extremely robust feature, definitely worth more than 3 bullet points, but in a webinar, we don't want to bore you too much. It's called Product Configurator. Product Configurator is exactly what it sounds like. Think of this for custom products, and we typically always use the example of a door. So when someone orders a door, we need to know, is it going to be, in swing and out swing? Does it have the handle on the left or the right? Is it made out of oak? Is it made out of cherry, mahogany? What sort of finish? How many panels? All of these options can go into creating these items. And what Product Configurator does is it allows you, when you're entering a sales order and you enter door, it'll pop up essentially a wizard that will ask these questions. And based on the results of all those questions, it will build the work ticket out with the appropriate steps, the appropriate raw materials to configure that custom item exactly how the customer is expecting it. So it generates that bill of material, handles all of the pricing, and you can set rules to ensure that they're valid configurations. So maybe if I choose an in-swing door, with a left door handle, it's not going to allow me to say I want left hinges, because that wouldn't be possible. So whatever those options are that you need, you can set in some stop gaps so you're not going out of bounds and creating an item that would not meet your standards. So addressing some of the key challenges that we spoke about, and just kind of highlighting over these again, we have our supply chain disruptions. To be able to overcome that, we're going to use the visibility through Component Exception Manager. That's going to give us a lot better idea of what we need to order it, when we need to order it to arrive on time. So that gives us the better planning with scheduling. Our labor shortages we're addressing by maximizing our utilization with enhanced scheduling, identifying productivity opportunities with the labor tracking to know exactly what the actual time spent on those items are. And that labor tracking does get into machine setup, cleaning, tear down, maintenance time, so we can even see non-productive labor and make sure that we are accounting for that as well. Overall cost reductions, of course, will come from our lower carrying costs by keeping minimized inventory on hand, optimizing our purchasing to take advantage of any sort of not only volume discounts or looking at different vendors based on the vendors in your system, but we even have tools outside of operations management that can help with this, that could even start getting into supply chain financing, factoring, et cetera, to help on the purchasing side. Having accurate job costing is very important for the profitability analysis, so the back office staff can look, they can make those data-driven decisions based on what we're truly doing, what is coming in, what's going out, how much we're spending on everything, and what the staff labor is contributing to that. And then, of course, we talked a little bit about the sustainability. Obviously, reducing material waste through accurate planning and tracking is only not going to make things better by reducing the waste, but when we reduce waste, we're also reducing costs. So, now that we've kind of gone over that, why operations management for Sage 100? Staying competitive in today's marketplace is extremely important. not only is it hard to find labor, but there's also a lot of companies in the situation that we might not be looking for labor, we might be looking to save on our labor. So, one of the most effective ways to do that, if you're looking at any sort of reductions in force, is how can we automate what we're doing now to make the remaining employees more effective? So, as much as we don't like talking about this side, it is a matter of fact that using a solution like operations management and the other endpoint products is going to allow you to possibly reduce some of your force or move that force to other revenue generating tasks while not having to reduce the overall output of the manufacturing side. So that reduced costs, improves the efficiency, um, provides the tools to tackle our supply chain disruptions, shortages, cost pressures. Very easy to use on the shop floor and in the office. As I mentioned, we do have what we call Manufacturing 100, which is a handheld application, kind of sidekick to this that allows users to have that barcode scanner in their hand. Tell this is the work taken I'm on. I track in, I track out, I issue materials, etc. And all of this is completely seamless back into Sage 100. So it's all going back into Sage 100 in real time. You're not having to wait for data to update overnight or input or try to understand someone's handwriting. This is all real time into Sage 100. So we got through that a little bit, about 5-6 minutes quicker than I was expecting. But as mentioned before, if there are any questions, let's go ahead and put those in the chat. We will get to those afterward. We'll follow up with you. And now I will pass it over to Jazz, and there's a quick survey.
Yeah, thank you again, Cody. Really appreciate your expertise on today's call. It was very informative, so thank you. As
Absolutely.
Cody mentioned, we're at the close of this webinar. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and also be on the lookout for that survey. Please provide any feedback, let us know how we did. And also, if you would like more information, please also let us know. Again, thank you all for joining us and hope you all have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.